Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on your YouTube channel. Have you ever tried to sound more polite in your English conversations and writing? Of course you have, but what do you exactly say to sound politer? What do you exactly say to sound more formal in English while speaking English or while writing things in English? Well, in today's video, I have provided 10 English phrases, 10 beautiful English idioms that you can use and take advantage of to sound more polite and also to sound more formal while speaking and writing in English. Let's get started, but before we do so, like this video in support of this channel. I help you with your English. You please help me with the growth of this channel by liking this video. And a special thanks to those who do so. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And leave a comment down below by telling me from which country you're watching these videos. Now let's get started. The first English phrase that you can use to sound more formal, both in your speaking and writing, is at your earliest convenience. At your earliest convenience. At your earliest convenience. At your earliest convenience is a formal way of making a request or asking someone to do something without imposing urgency on the action. We're kindly asking someone to do something whenever they have time to do so, whenever they are free to do so. We're not imposing any task on anyone, and we're not actually putting them under pressure and forcing them to get the action done or to, get the task done as soon as possible, as quickly as they can. We're just asking them to do it, and at the same time, we're giving them a lot of time to be able to do it whenever they have free time or whenever they feel free to do it. At your earliest convenience. An example. Please send the documents at your earliest convenience. Please send the documents at your earliest convenience. Please send the documents at your earliest convenience, which means please send the documents, but keep in mind that I'm not in a hurry, so you should not be in a hurry either. I'm not in a hurry. Just feel free to send the documents whenever you can, whenever you find it possible to do so, whenever you have some free time or whenever you're free to do so, whenever you feel comfortable or whenever you find it convenient to do so. So please send the documents at your earliest convenience. So we use at your earliest convenience in our sentences to say that we want someone to do something and also to emphasize that we're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry, we're not putting pressure on the person that we want to do something to get the task done as soon as possible. That's not the case. They have as much time as they want and need to get the task done. They can do the task whenever they feel free to do so, whenever they find it convenient to do so. So, at your earliest convenience. Now let me focus your attention on the second phrase that we can use to sound more polite and also formal in English, which is to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge. But what does it mean? To the best of my knowledge means as far as I know, as far as I'm sure, as far as my knowledge helps, as far as my knowledge is involved. So we can use to the best of my knowledge when talking about something, when we want to emphasize that we're discussing something, we're talking about something as far as we know about it, as far as our knowledge is engaged, is involved, or as far as we can remember things or we know things. Let me give you an example. To the best of my knowledge, all safety regulations have been followed. To the best of my knowledge, all safety regulations have been followed, which means as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, as far as my knowledge goes, as far as my knowledge is concerned, all these safety regulations have been followed, have been taken into consideration, taken into account. Now let's move on to the third formal English phrase that you can use both in your speaking and writing, which is in due course, in due course, in due course, in due course, in due course. What does it mean? When you say that you will do something in due course, or something will happen in due course, it means you will do something at the appropriate time, or something will happen at the right time, or at the appropriate time. So, in due course refers to the occurrence or the happening of something at its appropriate time. When you say I will do that in due course, it means I will do it at its right time, at its appropriate time. An example: your request will be processed in due course. Your request will be processed in due course. Your request will be processed in due course, which means we will start dealing with your request at its appropriate time, or we will start proceeding with your request at the appropriate and suitable time, at the right time. The next English phrase that you can use in your writing, when you're writing things formally in English, is to whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. But what does it mean? Why do we use this phrase in our English writing, in formal English? Well, we use to whom it may concern when we're writing something to someone that we don't know who they are, or when we're writing something to someone the recipient of which is not known, is not determined or identified. Let me give you an example. To whom it may concern. I'm writing to inquire about the position advertised. To whom it may concern. I'm writing to inquire about the position advertised. To whom it may concern. I'm writing to inquire about the position advertised, which means I don't know who is supposed to read this sentence, read this letter, read what I'm writing, but whoever is going to read it. The purpose of writing this letter is to inquire about the position advertised. This is a really common phrase used in your formal emails and writings, or in formal letters. So please take advantage of it, and thank you for doing so. Now let's move on to the next English phrase that we can use in formal writing and speaking, which is at your disposal. At your disposal. At your disposal. At your disposal. When you say to someone that you're at their disposal, it means you're available to provide them with help and support whenever and wherever needed and necessary. So, by saying I'm at your disposal, you're kindly, formally, and politely telling someone that you're willing to help them, you're willing to provide them with help and assistance whenever and wherever needed and necessary. An example: I'm at your disposal if you need further assistance. I'm at your disposal if you need further assistance. I'm at your disposal if you need further assistance, which means I'm available to provide you with help and support if you need any further help or assistance. The next English phrase that I will focus your attention on is used when you want to politely and courteously disagree with someone on a certain topic, on a subject, which is with all due respect. With all due respect. With all due respect. With all due respect. We can use with all due respect to politely, kindly, and formally tell someone that we disagree on what they're saying. We disagree with them on or about the topic being discussed, or on a certain idea. An example: with all due respect, I believe there might be a better approach to this matter. With all due respect, I believe there might be a better approach to this matter. With all due respect, I believe there might be a better approach to this matter, which means I respect your opinions, I respect everyone here, I respect all your different perspectives and viewpoints on the subject, but I personally believe that there might be a better approach to the problem, to the matter. Now let's move on to the next English phrase that you can use to sound more polite and formal in writing and speaking, which is under the auspices of someone or something. Under the auspices of someone or something. Under the auspices of someone or something. When we say something is happening or has been made possible under the auspices of someone or something. It means something is happening or has been made possible with the help, support, and assistance of someone or something, or with the sponsorship of someone or something. So, under the auspices of someone or something. An example: the conference was held under the auspices of the United Nations. The conference was held under the auspices of the United Nations, which means the conference was held with the help, support, and assistance or sponsorship of the United Nations. The next English phrase that we're using will be highly practical, especially in response to emails and requests, which is as per your request, as per your request, as per your request. As per your request can be used to emphasize that you're trying to respond to someone's request, or you're trying to proceed with someone's request. So we can use this phrase to emphasize formally that we're trying to follow up someone's request, or we're trying to deal with and proceed or respond to someone's request, or the request made by someone. An example: as per your request, I have attached the revised document for your review. As per your request, I have attached the revised document for your review. As per your request, I have attached the revised document for your review, which means by taking your request into account, by taking your request into consideration, taking account of your request or following up your request, or in order to respond to your request, I have attached the revised document for your review. The next English phrase that you're about to learn will help you to explain the reason for something in a formal way, which is by virtue of. By virtue of. By virtue of. We can use by virtue of to say that we're doing something because of something, due to something. So by virtue of is a more formal way of saying because of or due to in formal and polite English writing and speaking. An example: she's eligible for the position by virtue of her extensive experience. She's eligible for the position by virtue of her extensive experience, which means she is eligible for the position all thanks to, all due to, or all because of her extensive experience. So, by virtue of is a more formal and a politer way of saying due to or because of, especially in English writing and formal speech. And now we get to the 10th English phrase of today's video that you can use to sound more polite in speaking and writing, which is at this juncture. At this juncture, at this juncture. At this juncture means at this point in time and can be used to refer to a specific point in time. So at this juncture means at this point in time. An example: at this juncture, we believe it is best to proceed with the original plan. At this juncture, we believe it's best to proceed with the original plan. At this juncture, we believe it is best to proceed with the original plan, which means at this juncture, at this point in time, at this stage, we believe that we'd better or we'd best proceed with the original plan. We better take the original plan into account or consideration. And that's about it, guys. So in today's video, you learned 10 beautiful English phrases that you can use to sound more formal in your English speaking and writing. Now that you've watched the video up to this point, I kindly want you to like this video in support of this channel, and thank you for doing so. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and leave a comment down below by telling me from which country you're watching these videos. I'll be back soon.